All right, well, we've made it to the Petrified Forest Painted Desert National Park. And as you can tell, that would mean it's officially the next day. And we're getting ready to go see the visitor center and go look and see what it's all about. We're going to head on into the Rainbow Forest Museum first, through the visitor center. There's some hikes and things to go look at some of the petrified goodies out there. And I'm out of words for the moment. Rivers turned to stone. I can't pronounce that. You know, when you hear the term petrified forest, oh, that's a loud bug. Anyway, when you hear the term petrified forest, you tend to think, or at least I tend to think of a forest. But this forest was somewhere else and was washed away down here. Tam had to stop and look at this cactus. It is a pretty cactus, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, they crystallized, fell down, broke apart, and then got washed away in floods and pretty much settled here in Arizona.
Why?
Stephen Ting Mather, he laid the foundation of the National Park Service, defining and establishing the policies under which its areas shall be developed and conserved unimpaired for future generations. There will never come an end to the good that he has done.
1867 to 1930.
That was a big log right there. Oh, we can walk up to this one.
Look at it.
I don't know if this is coming through or not, but you can see some of the sparkles of the crystal inside the wood here. You know, this kind of stuff just amazes me. It's called science. I don't understand it.
Hey, go take a picture by the tree. Go over there and take a picture. Come on.
That was a big tree right there. This one's still partially in the ground. So the guy told me that these were washed here in floods, and this is where they settled. But these trees didn't come from here. He said this was actually much closer to the equator when these trees were alive.
I saw that on the map, but I didn't understand what it meant. That they floated here.
The wind here is something different, you know. It's 1 minute, not even a breeze or nothing, and now you can see windy. Definitely watch your step. While these trails are very nice, still look where you're going. Almost fell in a hole. I think those rocks were naughty. They did something wrong because somebody put them in a cage. Yeah, I made that up. What is it, Brio?
It's beautiful.
Yep, Bougie, it is. It is beautiful.
Mom, why did you then choose this way? When you're up here, it's so pretty.
We're going to head back down to the parking lot and
Pretty, Mom.
get back in the vehicles and find our next destination. This is just the first stop in the Petrified Forest Painted Desert National Park. Well, our next stop, we are at Crystal Forest, Crystal Garden, Crystal Forest. Anyway, that's where we are. Unfortunately, you know, we do have limited time here today, so we're not going to be able to make all the stops. There's like 14 stops. I don't think we're going to probably make half of those, but that just gives us a reason to come back later at some point. But anyway, let's go over and check out more pretty things. So the park ranger lady at the gate, she recommended this. She said this was one of her favorite spots. She says that the petrified logs, wood here is got a lot of crystal and they're very sparkly, and that's why they call it Crystal Forest. Anyway, nice paved trail. Should be pretty easy to walk around. Yeah. However, right behind us, which is actually facing that way, is a big butte. It's pretty. Looks like Brittany's going to go get a picture of the big butte. I'll try to remember to get a picture of it after we're done walking around here. Listen, y'all, Bougie wants to do some filming. What do you say we let her do some filming? I think that's good. When we get up there to look at some logs, we'll give the camera to Bougie and she can film some pretty logs, and I can find my words and speak English. Yeah.
Okay, there's a lady coming, so get.
I really want to do that. Hi, doggy.
Hi, doggy. Okay.
Oh, I have no shoes on.
Let's give the camera to Bougie and she can record some of these pretty rocks.
So, this was a log a long time ago, but since it's so old, a flood came and now it's rock.
You did a good job explaining.
Well, that was a very good job explaining and scientifically pretty much accurate, coming from the 6-year-old. I love how you can see some of this is just coming right out of the ground still.
Yep.
Real.
I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but the wife, she's got a thing for clouds. She loves clouds, and now she's seeing clouds over yonder way. That's just making her whole day, so we're gonna have a look at them too. Got to agree, it kind of completes nature's painting there. This little hill right here, it has what almost looks like footprints on it. It'd be neat to think if those were actually footprints from, you know, ancient peoples, and they just dried there almost like cement. That'd be pretty neat to think if that was true. As with every other story that I tend to make up, if it sounds good, I pretend it's true. So we're just going to say, yeah, those are footprints from ancient peoples that have just sat there like it's concrete. Brittany seems to think, might be able to find some research to back that claim. Honestly, I don't care. That's a story I'd like to believe is true. And it would be fascinating if it was. You know, so as with any of the other stops we've made, Grand Canyon, the Meteor Crater, I didn't know really what to think. And this place was no different. You know, Petrified Forest, Painted Desert, didn't know what to think. Doesn't disappoint. If you have the chance, you need to get out and see these things. If you've already seen them, then you're lucky. Tam said, look at this big honker.
That's crazy.
See that one in the middle?
I think this one is famous. I think I saw a picture of this one in the visitor center. Well, we're going to head back down to the cars, get back in. We're going to head up to the next site that we're going to visit today. I don't know which one it is, but I'll tell you when we get there. So this next location is called Blue Mesa. It has a short hiking trail, but it's got about a 3.5 mile long loop of a driving road to drive through it. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to do this as a drive-through kind of attraction. I don't really know how the earth can do these sorts of things and these colors in the rock.
Oh, that's deep down there.
Yeah. Holy smokes, that's a view.
Wow.
I'm going to pull up further because there's yet another one over here. Check this view out. Like I said, I'm not sure how it's even possible the Earth can look like this. Just simply amazing.
Wow.
Every time we turn a corner, the view changes a bit and gets even more spectacular. Not to be even a little bit sarcastic, but we really do have a bit of a shortened timetable today, and every time I turn around, there's a view we got to stop at because, man, oh man, it's amazing. I'm not going to stop at this turnout because we just pretty much saw this view. Okay. I'll have to stop here, I guess.
Yeah. Goodness. Wow, there's trails all down in there. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to bend down on the wheel. Hold up there. Wow. That is a trail
All
all
right.
the way down in there. That is insane.
That's the trail that you can hike on.
No, thank you.
Well, like I said, every time we turn around. Anyway, let's go check this out because it is, again, spectacular. And you know, at the end of this little trail pathway, of course, you've got a petrified piece of tree here. Wow, this is just shocking. You can see that trail down there in the bottom. There's no way we were up for hiking on that. Still hard to have words. I'm sure I'll find some words because I always seem to find words, but it's hard to have words. All right, so our next stop after the Blue Mesa, which was fantastic, is the Puerco Pueblo. And it has some ancient structures, homes, and things from the ancient peoples. And we're going to go check it out. This particular pueblo is exceedingly well preserved. Yeah, that's clearly not a pueblo. I have to imagine, though, it's probably what they imagine they look like. If you had cameras back in ancient times, you could take a photograph. It might look something like this. It has open doors. What's in here? Oh, there's information's in here. More than 13,000 years of human history, in Petrified Forest National Park. Ice Age, Paleo-Indian, Archaic, Basket Maker, Pueblo 2 to Pueblo 3, I don't know. Pueblo 1, Pueblo 4, interesting. And what's over here? Some Route 66 information. You know, speaking of Route 66, it goes back a lot more than just whenever it was made in the 20s, 30s, 40s. You know, now it's Interstate 40 for the most part. It goes back a lot further than that. It goes back to trails of people that were migrating from east to west. It goes back even farther than that with ancient peoples. Over time, people continue to use the same trails. And you know, what started out in some places as trails for these ancient peoples to use, Interstate 40 today. I think that's kind of neat to think that sometimes when you're driving that, you might actually be driving bits of history. Anyway, enough of that. Here's some actual ruins of the Pueblo. So the sign down here, it has their reconstructed. It's really hard with the sun glare, isn't it? Anyway, kind of what you've seen is all that's left, but this is what it's assumed that it probably looked like. And then there's the people finding some petroglyphs. Hopefully we'll be able to find some around here. As you all know from some of my videos around the Barstow area, I love finding the petroglyphs, hieroglyphics, Indian rock art, whatever it is you want to call it. Some of my favorite things to know people wrote that. We don't even know how long ago it was. It could have been anywhere from a few hundred years ago to a few thousand years ago. We just don't know. It'd be nice to know, but that's kind of part of it, is not knowing makes it even more special. Anyway, here's a sign that says something about a thing or three, and we're going to see what it says, and I can see some petroglyphs right here and now. Whispers from the past. And if we look right behind the sign, we can start to see some. Oh, and we have more on this rock over here. Interesting. The image on the right depicts circular faces on a dark rock surface. Modern groups identify these as Kachinas, or spirit beings. In Pueblo religion and cosmology, research suggests that the Kachina culture arrived in this region circa AD 1300. Similar symbols found on modern Puebloan property and weavings remind us of the community continuity between the prehistoric sites like Puerco Pueblo and the present. Very cool. What next? A canvas for ideas. We can see plenty more, but again, you're going to have to use the phone. It has the zooming capabilities. Hopefully those came out. The phone did make the clicky sound. The screen went dark because, you know, iPhones get hot and they get temperamental and the screen goes dark. Can't really see what's going on. Anyway, glad the GoPro's still working in the heat. That's also a miracle. Roosevelt's Tree Army. The CCC. There's more?
Yeah, you can get it better from around the corner.
I see. It was nice of the ancient people to leave us this viewpoint so us modern folk can come over here and enjoy some of their handiwork. Yes, I'm aware. Don't make fun of me. Okay. Yeah, and then we've got some more here. Once again, let's get out the trusty iPhone that's near overheating.
Yeah, the path used to be.
All right. Huh, and there was a path there. Now, is this path modern or is this path ancient? You tell me. More or less starts here, but you can kind of make it out all through here. Y'all tell me, do you think that path is more modern or is that path ancient? I don't know. That's why I ask you to tell me, because I don't know. And there's not a sign that says what it is. All right, we're heading back up to the top. We'll get a view from the other side of the Pueblo. And then back to the cars. I hear some people playing some funky music.
We are actually in the middle of the Pueblo. There's another.
Yeah, Brittany just made a little bit of a discovery. We're actually walking through what would have been the middle of the Pueblo because, you know, here you can see these walls of the Pueblo. And then here's more right here on the other side of this trail. That's pretty fantastic. We're literally walking inside of where these ancient people lived. it's a bit powerful. Life in the village. Over 100 rooms, you probably just heard Brittany say it. Over 100 rooms formed a one-story apartment complex surrounding a central plaza in the village. And we just walked through part of that central plaza. Yeah. Oh, Kiva. If you all know what a Kiva is, because I don't. Apparently that is a Kiva. If I had to guess, that may be a place where they stored water, perhaps. I don't know. Well, like I said, kind of at the beginning of this little adventure here, we're on a bit of a short timetable today. So that's probably all the things we're going to be able to see. Now from here, we're going to go ahead and head on out to the visitor center at the north end of the national park here. And that'll probably be the end of it. But I'm going to leave the GoPro running in the truck as I have been this whole time. And I'll see you guys up there at the visitor center in just a short little while. Haha, just kidding. We saw a sign that said something about a pintada point. I don't know, some kind of a point. Wasn't going to stop for it until we saw the view that had approached us. And then it looked like it was a mandatory stop. So we're going to go over here and have a look. And well, now that I get closer to it, damn. Arizona, you do not disappoint. Not one bit. Well, folks, it's honestly time to part ways. And I mean that not just from you all that have been watching all of this series of videos so far, but Brittany and Bougie, they're going to be actually heading up to Lake Powell from here, and they've got more road trip and vacation in that they're going to be doing. And me and the wife, we're shooting back west about 5 hours. We're going to Vegas. Say bye-bye, Bougie.
I didn't say anything.
No, I know you didn't say anything. Say bye-bye. Wait, say bye-bye.
So we are going to go to the, my Grammy and Pappy, or we're going to the boat?
It's like talking to, just say bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, there we go.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay. I want to thank you all for joining me throughout this entire road trip. It's been an incredible adventure. Many times left speechless by all the things. But I guess in the meantime, that'll do it. Y'all ride safe. You drive safe. You just be safe. And we'll see you later. Bye-bye now.
That's when I sent you all the video where Brielle was saying, I'm a turd. That's what inspired her to make that video.
That's why.
Yeah.
And I kept saying that over and over.
Yeah.
I'm a turd.
You're a crazy bird.
Brielle. I'm a turd.
Turn around, look at me.
I'm a turd. I'm a turd.
Okay.
I'm a turd. I'm a turd.